All right, so we're diving deep today into how to boost creativity, and you sent over this article, Train Your Brain for Creativity and Innovation.
Yeah.
I have to say, the title alone really caught my eye and actually got me thinking about how I used one of the techniques mentioned to kind of crack a tricky problem at work just the other day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what other insights we can uncover.
Awesome.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
What really struck me was that the article emphasizes creativity and innovation as skills you can actually develop. Like, it's not just about being born a creative genius.
Right.
Which, frankly, is a relief to hear.
Yeah, I mean, we've all bought into that myth, haven't we? That you're either born creative or not.
Exactly. And the article makes it clear that these skills are relevant in any field.
Yeah.
It's not just for, artists or musicians or writers.
It really debunks that stereotype, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Now, the article delves a bit into the brain science behind all of this, mentioning the prefrontal cortex and the default mode network. I have to admit, those terms always sound a bit intimidating to me.
Yeah, they can sound pretty complex. Think of it this way. The prefrontal cortex is like the CEO of your brain.
Okay.
It's responsible for, planning and decision-making.
Right.
And then the default mode network is more like the daydreaming mode, where your mind kind of wanders and makes these unexpected connections.
Okay.
Both are essential for creative thinking.
That makes a lot more sense. It's like different parts of our brain are working together to spark creativity.
Exactly.
So the article dives into some specific techniques to train our brains for creativity. And it starts with brainstorming.
Yeah, and it doesn't just list, types of brainstorming. It really brings them to life.
Okay.
Like, take the Stamper technique, for instance. Let's say you're working on a new marketing campaign.
Oh.
And you're feeling totally stuck.
Yeah.
Scamper encourages you to ask questions like, could I substitute any elements? Maybe swap out the target audience. Could I combine it with an existing campaign? Or adapt it to a different platform?
That's a really practical way to think about brainstorming.
Right.
It gives you like a framework to approach a problem from multiple angles.
Exactly.
I could see how that could really help break through a creative block.
It's all about challenging those assumptions we often make without even realizing it. And when we challenge those assumptions, that's where the possibilities for innovation open up.
Which leads us to the next technique, right?
Yeah.
Challenging assumptions.
Precisely. Think about a company like Airbnb.
Okay.
They completely disrupted the hotel industry, right? By challenging this assumption that you need to own properties to provide lodging.
Right.
They saw this opportunity to connect travelers with people who had extra space.
Yeah.
And boom, they revolutionized the way we think about travel accommodations.
That's such a powerful example of how challenging assumptions can lead to, groundbreaking innovation. So what happens when we start challenging our own assumptions, in our daily lives and work?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The article suggests embracing another technique called lateral thinking, which involves approaching a problem from an unconventional angle.
Lateral thinking, that sounds a bit complex.
It can.
How could someone apply that in a practical way?
Well, one way is using the 6 thinking hats technique.
Okay.
This was developed by Edward de Bono.
Okay.
So imagine you're planning your next vacation.
All right.
Instead of jumping to the usual destinations, right? You could try on these different thinking hats. The white hat focuses on facts and information.
Okay.
The red hat explores emotions and gut feelings.
Got it.
The black hat analyzes risks and potential problems.
So you're essentially looking at the same problem through these different lenses.
Yeah.
Considering different perspectives and possibilities.
Exactly.
Well,
and it's amazing how just shifting your perspective can unlock these creative solutions. It's like looking at a puzzle from a different angle, and suddenly you see how the pieces fit together.
Speaking of shifting perspectives, the article suggests keeping a creativity journal. I've dabbled with journaling before, but I'm curious to know how it specifically helps with boosting creativity.
Yeah, it's more than just jotting down random thoughts.
Right.
A creativity journal is this space to capture ideas, sketches, observations, anything that sparks your imagination.
Okay.
And over time, you start to notice patterns in your thinking, which can lead to those aha moments of creative insight.
So it's like creating a treasure trove of ideas.
Yeah.
That you can revisit and build upon. I love that idea.
It can be incredibly valuable, especially for someone like you who's always seeking new knowledge and insights.
Absolutely. It's like giving your brain a dedicated space to play and explore.
Speaking of play, the article makes a really compelling case for how crucial it is for creative thinking. It might seem counterintuitive,
Right.
but allowing yourself to be playful to tap into your imagination can lead to some of your most innovative ideas.
I completely agree. Just the other week, I was playing a board game with my kids, and it sparked an idea for a project I'd been struggling with.
Wow.
Sometimes it's in those moments of letting go and having fun that the best ideas emerge.
It's like giving your brain permission to wander and make those unexpected connections.
Yeah, it allows those creative sparks to fly.
Exactly.
This is all so fascinating, but it feels like there's a bigger picture here.
Okay.
Something that ties all of these techniques together. What am I missing?
You're right, there is, and it's something the article emphasizes throughout, the importance of cultivating a growth mindset.
The growth mindset. I've heard about that before, but I'm not entirely sure what it means in the context of creativity.
So it's the belief that your abilities, including your creative abilities, can be developed through dedication and effort.
Okay.
It's about embracing challenges, seeing setbacks as opportunities for learning, and believing that you can always improve.
So it's not about being born with a certain level of talent.
Right.
It's about believing that you can become more creative through practice and perseverance.
Exactly.
That's incredibly empowering.
It is.
It takes the pressure off feeling like you need to be naturally gifted and shifts the focus to the journey of growth and development.
Absolutely. And that's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
Because once you adopt that growth mindset, you become less afraid of failure. You see setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow.
Yeah.
And that fearlessness is essential for true innovation.
This is all so insightful. I'm already feeling inspired to start putting these techniques into practice.
Me too. And there's even more to explore.
Oh.
The article goes on to discuss some other fascinating techniques like divergent and convergent thinking.
Interesting.
I'm eager to delve into those with you in the next part of our deep dive.
I'm excited to hear more. Stay tuned, everyone, because in part 2, we're going to uncover even more secrets to unlocking your creative potential.
Awesome. Welcome back to our deep dive on boosting creativity.
I'm ready for more.
It's exciting to keep unpacking these techniques and strategies.
So where did we leave off?
Let's see.
Yes. The article mentioned something called divergent and convergent thinking.
Right.
I have to confess, those terms sound a bit like something out of a science fiction novel to me.
They do have a futuristic ring to them, don't they? But the concept is actually pretty straightforward.
Right.
So divergent thinking is all about generating as many ideas as possible without judgment or limitations.
Okay.
Imagine like a brainstorming session where every idea is welcome, no matter how wild or unconventional.
So it's like letting your imagination run wild.
Yeah.
And exploring every possible avenue.
Exactly. It's about breaking free from those constraints of logical thinking and embracing the power of possibility.
Okay.
And then convergent thinking comes in to help you narrow down and refine those ideas.
Right.
It's where you start to analyze, evaluate, and select the most promising options.
So it sounds like a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
First, you expand your thinking, then you focus it.
It got it.
Is that right?
It's like a dance between exploration and decision-making.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It makes the whole process seem more approachable.
Right.
Okay. Now, the next technique is one I've always been a bit skeptical of.
Okay.
Meditation and mindfulness. I'm curious to hear how those practices tie into creativity.
I understand your skepticism.
Yeah.
It might seem counterintuitive, to quiet your mind when you're trying to be creative.
Right.
But research suggests that meditation can actually enhance focus, reduce stress, and activate the default mode network. Remember we talked about that earlier. It's like that state of mind when you're daydreaming in the shower.
Okay.
And suddenly a brilliant idea pops into your head.
Right.
That's your default mode network at work.
So meditation helps us tap into that state of mind.
Exactly.
Where those unexpected connections happen more easily.
Precisely. And then there's mindfulness. It's all about being present in the moment.
Okay.
Paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
Yeah.
This allows your brain to make these unique connections between seemingly unrelated ideas, leading to those aha moments of insight.
So it's like training your brain to be more observant and open to new possibilities.
Exactly. It's about noticing the subtle details, the hidden patterns, the unexpected beauty in everyday things.
That makes a lot of sense.
The article suggests trying guided visualizations.
Okay.
Or simply practicing mindful observation of your surroundings.
It's about shifting your perspective and seeing the world with fresh eyes.
Speaking of fresh perspectives,
Yeah.
the article also highlights the importance of surrounding yourself with creative people.
I can see how that would be incredibly beneficial.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Exactly. The energy and ideas of the people you surround yourself with, they have a profound impact on your own thinking. The article suggests joining creative communities, mastermind groups, or collaborating on projects with like-minded individuals.
I love that it's about creating an ecosystem where creativity can flourish.
Right.
It makes me think about the importance of finding your tribe. You know, those people who inspire you and challenge you to think differently.
You're spot on. It's about creating this supportive network that encourages you to push your creative boundaries and explore new possibilities.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From brainstorming and challenging assumptions to embracing new experiences and cultivating a growth mindset.
Right.
And now we've added divergent and convergent thinking, meditation and mindfulness, and the power of surrounding yourself with creative people.
We've explored a range of techniques to enhance your creative potential, and it's inspiring to see how they all connect and build upon each other.
It's like a tapestry of creativity, with each thread representing a different technique or strategy.
Right. That's a beautiful way to put it.
And as we move into the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore one more crucial element that ties everything together.
All right.
I can't wait to hear what it is.
Me too.
Stay tuned, everyone, because in part 3, we'll uncover the final piece of the puzzle that unlocks true creative potential.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into training your brain for creativity. We've explored so many fascinating techniques and strategies.
I know, right?
I'm so eager to uncover this last piece of the puzzle you mentioned.
Well, we've talked about brainstorming and challenging assumptions and lateral thinking and so much more. But there's one element that really ties everything together.
Okay.
And allows all these techniques to work their magic.
Okay, you've got me on the edge of my seat. Tell me, what is it?
It's something we've kind of touched on throughout our conversation, the growth mindset.
Ah, yes, the growth mindset. We talked about it in the context of, embracing challenges and seeing setbacks as opportunities.
Yeah.
But how does it specifically relate to creativity?
Well, the article really emphasizes that a growth mindset is the foundation for all the other techniques to work effectively. It's about believing that your creative abilities can be developed through dedication and effort.
So it's not about, being born with a certain level of talent.
Exactly.
It's about believing that you can become more creative through practice and perseverance.
You don't have to be like a natural born artist or inventor to be creative.
Right.
Creativity is a skill that can be cultivated and nurtured, regardless of your background or natural inclinations.
That's so encouraging. I think a lot of people, myself included, can get caught up in the idea that they're just not creative types.
I totally get that, but research shows that creativity is a skill that can be developed. It's like learning a new language or mastering a musical instrument.
Okay.
It takes time and effort and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone.
That makes a lot of sense. So how do we actually go about developing this growth mindset? I mean, the article didn't really delve into specifics.
That's a great question. And you're right. The article kind of emphasizes the importance of the growth mindset, but doesn't give you like concrete steps.
Yeah.
But based on my understanding of the research, there are a few key practices that can help.
Okay.
First, you want to become aware of your self-talk. Notice those negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that might be holding you back creatively.
Like what kinds of thoughts?
Oh, things like, I'm not creative, or I'm not good at coming up with new ideas.
Yeah, it's like we've all been there. Those negative thoughts can be so insidious.
They really can. But once you become aware of them, you can start to challenge them.
Okay.
Ask yourself, is that really true? Or what evidence do I have to support that belief?
Right.
Often those negative thoughts are based on, past experiences or societal conditioning rather than any real limitations.
It's like we need to reframe those negative thoughts and replace them with more empowering beliefs.
Exactly. And another key practice is to focus on effort and progress rather than perfection.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment, make mistakes, and learn from them. Celebrate your small wins and acknowledge how far you've come.
So it's about embracing the journey, not just the destination.
Precisely. The growth mindset is all about seeing every experience, even the so-called failures, as opportunities to learn and grow.
I like that.
It's about constantly pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and embracing the unknown.
This is resonating with me so deeply. It's like a permission slip to be messy, to experiment, and to not take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly. Creativity thrives in an environment of, playful exploration and open-mindedness.
Mm-hmm.
When you let go of the need to be perfect, you free yourself to be more imaginative and innovative.
So as we wrap up this incredible deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I want them to remember that training your brain for creativity is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It's not about mastering one technique or achieving some arbitrary level of creativity.
Okay.
It's about embracing the process, experimenting, and continuously learning and growing.
It's about cultivating that growth mindset and applying it to all areas of our lives.
For sure.
It's been such an insightful journey exploring all these techniques for boosting creativity.
It really has. And while each technique has its own unique value, it's clear that the growth mindset is the foundation that allows all the other strategies to flourish, It's like the fertile soil where the seeds of creativity can take root and blossom.
Such a beautiful analogy. And before we say goodbye, I'd love to leave our listeners with a final thought to kind of build on everything we've discussed.
I like that. What if you combined the practice of keeping a creativity journal with regular brainstorming sessions? Imagine using your journal not just to record ideas, but to reflect on your brainstorming process.
Okay.
What patterns emerge? What insights do you gain about your own creative strengths and challenges?
That's a fantastic suggestion.
Yeah.
It's like taking the creativity journal to the next level.
Right.
Using it as a tool for self-discovery and growth.
Exactly. By combining these two practices, you create this powerful feedback loop that can accelerate your creative growth and lead to even more innovative breakthroughs.
I love it. So to our amazing listeners out there, I encourage you to try one of these techniques today, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Remember, even small steps can lead to big creative leaps over time.
And as you embark on your own creative journey, remember the power of the growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in your ability to grow. Embrace challenges and never stop exploring the vast realm of possibilities that lie within you.
What a perfect way to end this deep dive. And thank you for joining us on this exploration of creativity and innovation.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.